Welcome brawlers, I'm the Hermit and I hope you're ready for some Manaless action, because today we're going to be playing a Goblin Charbelcher deck. For generic, we get an artifact with an activated ability. Pay 3 and tap it, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. This artifact deals damage equal to the number of non-land cards revealed this way to any target. If the revealed land card was a mountain, this artifact deals double that damage instead. Put the revealed cards in the bottom of your library in any order. Now it doesn't matter the mountain part, but we are trying to get a one-shot on our opponents by having 0 lands in the entire deck. Now, in order to actually play our spells, we're going to be playing MDFCs, and since we don't want to pay 3 life every time, or since we don't want them on tap, our commander is Wandering Minstrel. For 1 blue and 1 green, we get a 1/3 legendary human bard. Lands you control enter untapped. And much like Goblin Charbelcher, he also has more decks, but we're gonna ignore it. We just care about the lands entering untapped. So because this is a singleton deck, in order to achieve our win condition, we're gonna be playing 2 roar cards. Case of the Stash Skeleton. If we control no suspected skeletons, we can sacrifice it and search any card. Diabolic Intent, sacrifice a creature, search any card. Wishclaw Talisman, we get to search 2 cards, and our opponent gets to search 1. We also have a little bit of treasure synergies. We have Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Ban, Breaches, Magda, as well as Ragavan, in order to ramp a little bit more and get to the 7 mana so we can cast and activate Charbelcher in a single turn. The rest of the deck is gonna be the lands, but also card selection, card filtering, even more Turos, and a couple of rats in order to delay the game enough for us to win. Also, Defense Grid, Voice of Victory, or Enchant, so our opponent cannot interact during the turn we want to go off. Same thing with our counter spells, An Offer You Can Refuse, Pact of Negation, Mana Drain, and even Flare of Denial, since we can sacrifice the Wandering Minstrel in order to protect our combo. So that's the deck. Let's head into the games and belch our opponents. Against Roxanne, but we don't have mana for a commander, blue mana. Okay, this is better, but we don't have a Turor now. So we need to dig a little bit. Okay, let's ramp here. Next we're gonna search and play our commander. We're gonna be doing some surveilling until we get that combo piece. We use the energy. Place Defense of the Heart, that's not gonna trigger with us. Sink into Stupor. Okay, we're actually gonna use it again to bounce our opponent's commander. Black. Black. So. And let's get the drum here. Also pretty cool sleeves, the Sephiroth ones from the Battle Pass. Dumbry, okay. That's fine with us, because this doesn't actually counter the spell.
We won't answer to other guilds.
I think we're gonna lose Ascanta, so do we want to? I guess we're okay with that. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you doing something?
Roxanne, back to your hand. Okay. We would be 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Okay, that's a combo. Yep. The command zone. Get the Belcher. And hit you for 80 plus. And yeah, it seems my PC is not able to handle all that power at once. So you're gonna see that little stutter now and then whenever we use the Belcher. Now, okay, that was fast, only 10 seconds. Against Ragavan. Yeah, we're gonna lose this one for sure. Tends to happen whenever you're winning too much. You start getting LQ commanders, and then you lose some more. You go back down the ladder. It is what it is. And I guess our only hope here is to not get Belcher exiled with Ragavan. Or with Robert of the Reach. Okay, they got our Mogs. That's bad for us. And Rahilda. Okay, let's give it a couple of more turns before we concede. But I think we're going to. Like, I pretty much knew our opponent was gonna win as soon as Ragavan was revealed. So, yeah, no surprise here. They still bring to light, that's another way to get our Belcher. Even if a little expensive. And they get the Grim Tutor. Crucias, they're gonna cast the Crucias, yep. I think that's lethal on us. Yeah. We don't have a 3 mana Wrath, and if we did, spending this color on mana wouldn't do it, so good games, Ragavan. Okay. one Mox here, and we exile an offer you can refuse. Opponent is feasting. And they're gonna get discount on their creatures in hand. They get Nylea. And we don't get a land. Let's Memory Deluge. Play Malakar Rebirth, and next turn we can Besiege, maybe, if we draw another black source. Okay, multi from opponent. And they're only paying 4 because of Nylea. Corclaw. So we should exile you. Your life. Play the talisman and pass. So here we need another land. Okay. One had River's Rebuke. Kinda bad for us. But we should be okay. We're gonna exile Diabolic Intent. And we're gonna play the One Ring. Or maybe we just played the ramp. If we play this, we would have mana. Okay. Yeah, the ring is gonna save us, I think. Well, maybe. Because it costs 1 to activate, we cannot activate twice. But then gets Guardian Project, which means they get to draw from Mimoti. Their Nylea is a creature now. Let's draw. Okay, so what should we do here? There's the land we need. I guess we need to concede. Almost got there. We were 2 draws away. If we drew that, then we get 3 black, and that means we play Besiege the Mirror. We had 3 mana to activate, and we win. But as it stood, that River's Rebuke did win our opponent the game. So good games. Against Saklasots. Let's see if they're not gonna discard our hand here. Because we have the Belcher on hand. So we might want to go for the Defense of the Heart / Emergent Ultimatum win. Get Medallion from opponent. And Transit Mage. I'm afraid we don't need it. And what is this? A Liliana, maybe? Blood Chief's Thirst. Chrome Mox. They get Liliana. Okay. Oppression. I guess we play the Belcher, we'd have to discard 2 Oppression. And I was afraid our opponent had more discard, but it seems like, I mean, Oppression is not nothing, but they didn't have it early enough. And so we win. That's 86. Okay. Hamza, we only have 2 lands. Okay, we have 3 and a Thopter. We also have Talisman. So what should we get with the Talisman? Good. I guess Key to the Archive. So here we're gonna use Fable. Maybe we don't get a land right away, but if it leaves, then okay. They destroy our mana dark. Kinda rude. Let's wish for a land here. And maybe opponent is gonna get their their Ashaya. So all their creatures can become sorted creatures can become lands and they get the combo with Thassa. Or maybe they just cast Thassa here. Okay, threats around every corner. Kinda works as well. So next turn our opponent's gonna dump their entire creatures into the battlefield. And we'll see if we can get a Wrath. I mean, we can, maybe we can with Bring to Light, maybe. We pay 4. And we get... Okay, so that's Hamza. Discard you and you as well. Or actually just the one, I think. Search for Askanta. So should we bring to light here? I guess language works. I could also calling ritual, but I like language better. Okay, that was a land. So now, since opponent didn't have the land before, they might just get it and then replay the Kamsa, maybe? Whenever a face down creature enters, search for a basic. Okay. Bueno, it's Kaya, and I think we are one
Should be a nice break from Ravnica.
blue source away from... Okay, that's not a blue source. Away from Emergent Ultimatum. Okay, opponent's gonna get their entire deck. Well, their entire creatures. And also all their basics into their hands. So all we need is a blue source. If we get it, we win. If not, we lose. We play Emergent Ultimatum, and what do we get? Maybe Damnation, and... what else? Think. I get some card draw. And I don't think we have another Wrath, so it should be... Okay, it seems opponent has stopped. They ran out of basics, I think. And they put a counter on maybe a Shaya. Definitely a value creature. Prosper. Reckless Barbarian. Yeah, I think our opponent has this one. Good games. One of these is likely an Ashaya. They turn it away. Well, they turn it face up. And they get their entire deck. Yeah, well, I think we needed to be a little bit more careful with our lands. And we just got unlucky to not draw them, so we had to use... the tutor for a land, which is never a good sign. X, they are gonna be playing cheap creatures and drawing cards. Nox Opal. Okay, we get the Belcher, so... Okay, they have a flyer. And the opponent... You just need to attack, you have the insect ability. Okay, another flyer. And if we get to untap, we can play Reckless Barbarian and have the mana for turn 5, I think. Yeah, I guess it's not as fast. Opponent plays Cut Down, okay. I think unless they have Hand Disruption, we should be winning this. Yeah, only because we got lucky and opened the Belcher. Or maybe they can find a way to kill us faster. Okay, another 1-1 and Cup of Girapur. Okay, that's a little late because we don't need to cast no creatures, we just need to play our Belcher and not die. So winning at 1 is the same as winning at 11, so let's see if our opponent has something here. And because they are black, they don't have interaction for artifacts. They could have for enchantments, but they don't for artifacts. We go to 3. And if they have a way to deal 3 damage or make us lose 3 life, more probably, then that's the game. Otherwise, we have it lethal on board. And it seems like they are gonna look for an answer in our deck. Do we have an answer for Belcher? Maybe. Witch Enchanter? Yeah, I guess that counts. And it needs to be in the top of our... Okay. Insatiable Avarice. And One Ring. But this is an instant speed ability, so we're not too worried about protection. Okay, Hope of Grapple. Okay, that actually would have been lethal if they had it before. Does this cry? Oh, they're going to discard to hand size. Okay, they have 12 cards. Not too bad. That's 8 opponent. 87, 76. Okay. I don't know if this is the order, but revealing a Witch Enchanter here, maybe if they used it, they could have won. I don't know how the order works. Maybe it was at the bottom, or maybe it was right on top. Either. Okay, I think it was on the bottom. Oh no, it was near the top, if this is the correct order. So I guess they could have had it if they bet on against us. Good games. The Fairy who loads the sunset. And we don't have good colors. Okay, this is better. They are gonna be control deck, so we need to avoid counter spells. I guess the charm works for that. And they're also gonna have removal, so we need to try to bait it out. They're gonna have okay, I thought this was gonna be a mana rock because they cannot tap them with the fairy. And then they ramp into the fairy, they their mana rock, sorry, Poros the fairy on tap, do the thing. Here we're gonna take 3 damage and professional facebreaker. Opponent lets it go. Probably they have removal. Or maybe they have a wrath, they don't mind ramping us a little bit. The One Ring. Okay. Siege the Mirror. So if things go well, we're gonna have 2 treasures next turn. If they have a red, then I guess that's too bad for us. Okay, create a treasure. Etherize. Okay. And we play a land. Professional Facebreaker. And we need to go to 8 mana so we can chant into Visage the Mirror, get Charbelcher and activate it. Currently we're at 6. If our opponent lets us hit, we would be at 8 next turn, so here they can draw with the One Ring, use the Fairy, untap their land, untap the One Ring, and draw again. But maybe they want to Maze Mind. Curse of Silence on Belcher. If it's Belcher there, they have a spect. If not, okay, breaches. Okay. Yeah, touch the biggest bullet right there. So here we are gonna attack our opponent. Then orange charm. Chant. Ooh, Spell Pierce, okay. Actually, I think I miscounted. We needed an extra 1 mana here. Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, I totally forgot we needed to sacrifice the treasure. I thought we could. Maybe I thought I could sacrifice Professional Facebreaker. However, its opponents. Okay. Should we try Bring to Light? Okay, that resolves, which means we win the game here. You may cast. Oh. Where are you, Charbelcher? Oh, it needs to be colors. No, but it should. It's not an artifact. Okay, my bad. My bad. So let's get Voice of Victory. Opponent plays Lotus Field. Ooh, that's some ramp for them.
Second here, second there. Who's counting?
They get White Zone's Twilight. We still need another black source. Yeah.
So much to do, and so much time to do.
I needed to get Defense of the Heart, maybe. Yeah, that one I messed up a little bit. Happens when you're kinda new to a combo. I need to look at my lands and count the black sources so that we could try to go for the thing earlier. And maybe done something better with Bring to Light. Mystic Weaver Puck. We have some colors. We get with Goblin Engineer. Needs to be 3 mana or less. So Palantir, I think. If we get some treasures, which we might if we draw a black source, then they're gonna transform into Palantir. I guess it can also be Palantir. Okay, they remove our Goblin. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, that was a mana screw. Not much to say there. Kind of salty, but it's part of the game. Ursa, Terra Brandford. Okay. They're gonna have interaction, maybe counter spells. So, but we have a Reckless Barbarian. We should see if that helps us. We also need another black source. We have one, but we need another. Okay. Ornithopter of Paradise. Relic of Legends from opponent. So if we get this, Mox Opal. Belcher. And here we go. Opponent is gonna play Ursa. They're gonna have essentially 4 mana. Howling Mine. Okay. Because they can tap it with Ursa, they're gonna get the Howling Mine trigger. But it doesn't matter since we are winning here. And good games. And even if they had one counter spell up, we could offer You Can't Refuse. Maybe if they had to, since they could use the treasure tokens. Depending on which ones. But they didn't, they tapped out, so we won. Good games. Have like, well, the lands are gonna be all the same because you're gonna be wanting to run as many MDFCs against Uro. So they're gonna be going wide, going big. Meanwhile, I guess we're gonna get turn 2 Crucias, turn 1 Cold Seal Heart, Chromox. Get Calni Ambush. Oh, I guess we needed to exile Stomp if we wanted to get the Barbarian here. And we needed to name. Okay, that was another misplay. I need to play the land after the commander so we could play the Barbarian. Opponent has Lotus Cobra, Paradise Druid. It seems like they're not gonna remove our stuff. Okay, they return our commander. Okay. So here we do play the Barbarian. We have what amounts to 6 mana, and we would need 7, so we're gonna ban. Well, we would need 7 in one turn, or 7 in, no, 10. Yeah, we would need 10. Okay. They're stabbed, but not really. Here we're gonna Grim Tutor for Belcher. And if opponent taps out, or maybe we just tutor for Defense of the Heart. Play it. Yeah, since we haven't gone for the other combo. Let's try this one on 4 size. Opponent is gonna have like 7 mana, so maybe they have Cyclonic. Uro. Another land, another mana, but not 2 since it's a tap land. And yeah, the attackos. Defense of the Hearts triggers, and we get Balustrade Spy and Thassa's Oracle. Yeah, that's the order. Balustrade resolves first. And then Oracle, and we win. Good games. So yeah, that was a nice time to see the other combo. And it was lucky that our opponent had their Shiva when they did, because if it died before we had defense, or yeah, maybe they play Uro. Yeah, they could still have 3 creatures. It's not that big of a ask. That's why Defense of the Heart is maybe one of the better cards in Brawl. You get to tutor for a creature. If your opponent is playing a creature deck, then you get your best creature for 4 mana. You need to wait a turn, and it can have interaction, so it's not perfect, but it is really, really powerful. Okay. Lotho is one of the cards that I'm not sure. I mean, it's obviously here because it's a staple in CDH, and also because of the treasures synergies that we're gonna have run, but not ideal, I would say. Ruby Daring Tracker. Oh, let's mana drain it. Okay, we play Palantir, Moxamber, and Taplan. We're gonna send both to the bottom. Although maybe we should keep one in case. Okay, so that wasn't Charbelcher. Rampant Growth from opponent. And Explore. Okay, we have Ragavan. We should do some Ragavaning. Let's just play it. See if they want to trade for their elves. They probably will. And here we're gonna keep both. Hit you for 4. Okay, they're gonna resolve their commander, but I'm pretty sure they don't have many other gods. Oof, this is actually great. Since Ragavan is a pirate, Breaches makes it so that they cannot block with the elves. Cavalry rebels. Okay, if our opponent takes this, they might die right here. And they do. Good games. Yep, that's why you don't mess with the Palantir. And since it's, again, in this deck we have all non-lands, we're gonna be hitting them for damage, no matter what. So, yeah, let's go to the next one. And against Kefka, so okay, we are getting paired against the worst decks in the format. And on the one hand, we don't get that high a win rate, but on the other hand, I kinda get it since we are doing some degenerate stuff. There's no two ways around it. Charbelcher requires extra specific interaction, and maybe they are pairing us against them for the discard. Since they are a discard deck, they might have an answer for they have an option against a combo deck like us. Also, since they are running red, they might have artifact removal. So they're hitting us on multiple angles. Let's check our opponent's hand. See what they are playing with. Belcher Prediction, that's one of the reasons it's on the better side of the MDFCs. For instance, Legion Leadership and Drowner of Truth are definitely not it. Okay, so they do have an answer and they have Commandeer as well. I guess we need to take the Commandeer and play around Flame of Honor. So also they have 3 lands. And they need to draw more if they wanna be on the if they wanna be a contender on the game. Okay, they drew Command Tower, so they're in it just yet. Huh. So here okay, opponent fires of Flame of Honor. That's great for us. Well, that's good. That means they could draw another counter spell. But we still have an offer you can't refuse. So I say we go for it. Okay. Yeah, they drew the discard. And they're gonna play Roscoe. So we need to play the Belcher so they don't make us discard now, and pray they don't hit artifact removal. Okay, they don't, they concede. Good game. And yeah, fighting that Flame of Honor really was a bad move for them. They needed to be a little more patient. because we don't do much of anything else. Against another puck. And this time we don't have it, just have one land. Okay. We're gonna play the teachings first. See if we get a sword for our commander. Otherwise, we go Spikefield Hazard and then Emeria's Call, Fable. Okay. And it's gonna toss bubble. Okay. That keeps them off puck. So we're not. It's not the worst, but it is definitely bad. Yeah, I needed to be something like Demolition Field. Because we don't have basics, they get to search their library and get a forest and keep their land count, whereas we just lose a land. So Dust Bowl is not the best strategy for them. Nature's Rhythm for a Mana Dork. Fanatic. Sylvan Caryatid. Okay. We get the Fable. Opponent didn't play Puck here. Okay. So in my Cospan. So there are land destruction. Need Weaver Puck deck. Okay. I see you. And does it need colorless mana? Yeah, for kicker. Okay. We discard Languish and Breaches. Let's get Arcane Signet. Puck from opponent. Yeah, they're gonna be getting lands on lands on lands. And now they're gonna be able to use Dust Bowl more annoyingly. Okay, let's concede. We can still win, but I think it's gonna take a really long time, and they're gonna be pressuring us a decent amount, so it's still difficult, and yeah, it's gonna be annoying. So Yeah, because we needed to get... I guess we could use Diabolic Intent here. And then next turn we would go for... We make a treasure. Play the thing. Play the Charbelcher maybe. Okay. We were open to artifact removal, I guess. Rename. Just 2 lands. And we get 3 here. Also with our commander, so... We have a tutor, another tutor. Key to the archive, which might be tutor. Flare of the Nile. Yeah, we should win this, I think. Growth Spiral. And we're gonna get Transit Mage. Guess what we're gonna get? Not the One Ring. Now the question is, do we wait until we have 7 mana or do we fire off with Flare of the Nile as protection? It all depends on what opponent does here. If they leave mana open, we wait, replay Key to the archive. If they tap out, then we play the Belcher. And Rapid Growth. Okay, so they are trying to get to Rennie next turn. If they have another ramp, then that would definitely indicate that. Okay. You remove our commander. So we use Malevolent Rumble, get a land. We'll be at 6 next turn. Not quite enough. Sarkhan, the Fireblood. Well, not the, just Sarkhan Fireblood. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. So yeah, I think they needed to get Ureni this turn if they had a chance. That way they got all their dragons. Twin Flame Tyrants. Okay, that's actually not bad. But since we have the Belcher, and the Flare of the Nile, more importantly. I mean, that means we pretty much win.
Look to the skies.
They need Cavern here, play Cavern of Souls, cast Ureni, get something. Or maybe 2 pieces of removal for the Belcher, and then we are cooked. Actually, should we let it go? Probably. Doesn't make a difference. Okay. Oh, right, maybe they had the dragon that bounces, but if they do, we just replay Belcher and activate. So yeah. Withdraw an offer you can't refuse. And that's the game. Yeah, I guess that's a good note to end on. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe. And maybe comment another deck you might want to see next. For the time being, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.